Hello, my name is Nadia Denton. I'm a film curator based in London. On behalf of CineDB Insights, I introduce this interview, which is part of the CineDB Africa Conversation Series, a collection of in-depth encounters with film professionals from across the African continent. CineDB Africa, supported by the Goethe Institute, now has a new home on the e-portal of the Durban Film Art Institute. Today, I am joined by Tim Redford, co-director of the festival and also coordinator of the international competition and African perspectives at the festival. Lovely to have you with us today, Tim.
Hello.
So just to start off, can you tell me 3 key things that people should know? So whether it be Africa-based filmmakers or industry professionals about the festival.
Yes, well, 3 things. The most visible part of our actions is the film festival, but we also run a number of other activities which has helped gain knowledge about the festival, which are the education department, the film commission, a patrimonial archive, which I'll talk about, I'm sure, a bit later on, and the film markets, which I think is what we're here to talk about this morning. 3 things, yeah. That's a good entry point. The one thing that people might not know about Clermont-Ferrand Short Film Festival is that we've had a number of key important filmmakers over the years that have come to the festival, because short film is usually their entry point into the industry. Nick Park won here. He's had a few Oscars since then, but he won the Audience Award back here in the 90s with The Wrong Trousers. Jean-Pierre Jeunet, the filmmaker behind Amélie, made his first short film called Foutaise, which was an Audience Award here. And Foutaise is a little short film, which is in the film of Amélie. So lots of filmmakers have started off their career, as everyone knows, through short film.
Brilliant. And what tips would you give to filmmakers about preparing to attend a festival such as Clermont-Ferrand? What might their festival strategy include?
Yeah, it can be a bit overwhelming because we receive about 9,000 films every year, and we select just 1%. So it's quite a challenge to get there, but it's very important to prepare in best possible way, attending Clermont and the film market, which is really where all the things happen. It's really important to gain knowledge before coming to the festival. Watch films that have been through the festival before. Look at all the agenda. We've got over 100 events during the festival and the market. Buyers presentations. And they all get usually sold. Well, they're not sold out because they're free, but they get pretty filled up quickly. So it's important to prepare the coming to Clermont because there's so much going on. And even I'd say if you do not have a film in competition, I think it would be good to pay us a visit at the beginning of the career, because it's a great way to promote your film, take part in roundtables, workshops, and meet other professionals, young professionals such as yourself.
And there is this sort of sense in the industry that short films may not have the same value as features. Obviously, it's great that you've mentioned those filmmakers who showed their initial shorts and were able to go on to big successes. What sort of words of encouragement might you give to filmmakers who perhaps have made shorts and they're just hearing that, they can't sell their short, or they can't, make money off of their short, or they can't necessarily maybe make some of the moves in their career that they would have hoped? I mean, I definitely believe in shorts in terms of what they can do to get visibility for a film.
Absolutely.
I know certainly for some of the Africa-based, filmmakers that will be watching this, some of the feedback they may be getting on ground might be discouraging.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, there isn't any money in short film, but it's what you said. The key word that here is visibility. You know, getting to know, entering the network, entering the circuits, getting people to know about yourself and your work, traveling to festivals, promoting your film, to develop new projects. It helps you to acquire insight as well, on what's going on, the trends. So yeah, I mean, there is also these filmmakers that I mentioned before. These are the big names, but a lot of filmmakers, after having made their first feature or second feature, go back to short films as well. We had at the festival this year Sally Potter, that's just shot a new short film, and she's obviously been making features now for about 30 years. But it gives you that freedom of expression. Your story can only be told in a few minutes, or they do it anyway. I'd say just shoot. You know, just go for making that story, get it out there. There isn't much money, that's true, but there's more and more interest in the platforms. We've noticed platforms are traveling to Clermont-Ferrand. You mentioned Netflix, Amazon came this year. We've got the French ones, obviously, the Canal Plus, the French televisions, and they do come and look for talents. People kicking off, you know, that they're looking for these people to go and tell their stories in different countries, and not to sell to the US or to Europe or to the UK. It's what they want is to find these talented filmmakers to take back to the countries, and Netflix always asks for 8-10 filmmakers that we might have spotted every year, and we know of some success stories behind that.
Wonderful. And tell us a bit more about the market. So the size of it, how filmmakers can participate, and any other practical tips.
The short film market takes place at the same time as the festival. We have about 3,500 accredited professionals that come every year. I'd say it is the starting point of the year for short film. It starts at the short film market. Everyone gathers around all the events that we're offering. As I said, I think over 100 events every year, talks, roundtables, masterclasses. I mentioned the buyers presentation, but they're super interesting, because then you get to know what the programmers are expecting and the criteria they're asking for. So under 15 minutes, a type of cinema, the stories that Canal Plus usually buys, or what Netflix are looking for, or so. What's really important is to prepare well, as I said, and to focus on 3-4 meetings a day, not more, and maybe do a bit of research on the background of the people that are presenting, the moderators, the speakers, watch their films, the lineups, but also leave plenty of time for informal networking, because that's really where it all happens. Ask recommendations, be open and curious about these other people that are talking, and don't be shy to ask the questions, and listen carefully to the answers, you know, and take good note of all the different questions, and see what the person is looking for in each film, each project. And we'll have that online 3 weeks before the event kicks off. We've got all the agenda there and all the speakers, and you can also create an account on this platform, the short film market platform, which is called Short Film Wire. And with that account, you can access, you can talk to prepare meetings, or the people you're going to be meeting.
And one of the things I was wondering about whilst you were talking is language. So do attendees need to have a bit of French? How does language play itself out across the festival, in terms of translations, etc., etc.?
It's been up to recently, it was very French focused. We did have a few talks obviously everyone does speak English here, and we have filmmakers from all around the world that do attend, but most of the talks would take place in French. Now, however, we do have 50-50 of the talks are in English, and there is translation. So yeah, English has become the main language now at the short film market.
So you mentioned that filmmakers should, leave a bit of time for the informal networking or just the moments that arise. I'm just curious, from your own experience, what are some of the networking icebreakers that maybe you've used or you've welcomed?
Yeah, well, we do after each screening, we do have all the filmmakers are invited. So we do have a presentation at the beginning, and we always open up for discussion at the end. And we do say, please do come and talk to these people. It's very important for them to get your feedback. And we're very lucky here in Clermont because our audience, it was our 45th anniversary this year, and they were our audience, they're brilliant, and they really go up and talk to the filmmakers, tell them what they think, if it's good or not good, or if they think they should have ended in a different way, or they're very curious. And what we've done is that we've left an hour now at the end of each screening, so that informal talk can come. So that was mainly for our audience, but now the industry attend also those screenings, so they have that time at the end. And obviously cocktails, drinks, parties, that does help. But what we've done is that every day we have a slot from at the end of the day before the evening starts, and everyone just goes over town. We have this meeting between the selected filmmakers and whoever wants to come and chat. But also at the film market, every day at 5, we have these informal meet and greet, we call them, which have turned a bit into an aperitif moment.
And I'm just curious, in terms of your own experience, have you noticed any particular patterns or trends in terms of how audiences engage with either world cinema content or even African content?
Well, it's a difficult one because we've always promoted world cinema. I think we select over 50 countries represented every year, and we do focus make sure that there is a lot of diversity, geographical diversity in our selection. That's what our audience wants to see. So we do make a lot of effort there. We travel to lots of different festivals during the year, and try and bring their stories back to Clermont, to our audience. The African Perspectives section we created over 30 years ago, and we select African films, obviously, in competition, but we also wanted to focus on this it's a non-official section to help promote new voices from the continent. It's difficult because it's not difficult to find the films, because there are films out there, but it's difficult to have people in the different countries sending us recommendations, because people move, travel, go to different change jobs, and the way we just receive the films is we have them submitted to Clermont, and we can have dips in submissions, as we did with the COVID years, obviously. But we only receive about 100 films from the continent out of 9,000, which is too few. So we travel to Africa and try to get more. We work with festivals on the continent. They are great. They're key players on identifying local talent. What we have seen, obviously, is I travel now to South Africa from time to time, and we've seen a rise in the submissions, which represent half of our submissions now from Africa. They're from South Africa. But we're lucky that with this section that we've created, the African Perspectives, we have full houses. So we have an audience which is very greedy, very interested in world cinema. So I think we're doing a fairly good job here on getting people interested year after year, and curious about world cinema. But what we definitely need are more films. So whoever's listening out there, I'd really like to receive more films from Africa.
That's great. Really nice to hear. And in conclusion, I'm wondering what you feel are the biggest creative or even commercial selling points coming from the African continent right now. So what do you think when you reflect on other sort of types of cinema or forms from other parts of the world? What do you think is the African magic, if we can refer to it?
Yeah, I don't know really. It's a tough one, that one, because I know that the stories are extremely interesting, and what needs it, what I suppose a strong need is to have an industry backing, to have the more funding, not only to make the films, but also to remember to keep a bit of funding to send the films, to promote the films, because once a film is made, it's only part of the job done. And it's, as I said before, we don't get enough. We get a lot from South Africa. Egypt is also a country which produces a lot of films, but we don't receive anything from big production countries such as Nigeria. We received 2 or 3 films when there were hundreds of short films that are being produced every year. So I know there are a lot of series being shot. There's a lot of interest in Africa at the moment, and festivals are a springboard for these talents, and we mustn't be left out of the equation. It's very important to go step by step, and festival is one of the first steps for young filmmakers. Not think too big and go, I want to go and on these platforms, or I want to go to the US, or I want to. It's important to build the career. And I'm not sure about the trends really. I'm not sure I could say much about that really. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. And very, very lastly, post-pandemic, are there any trends that you noticed, things that shifted that you think are here with us to stay, or even just general kind of 2023 industry predictions?
Yeah, well, look, we all turned to platforms under COVID, and it was great for a while. We even had our events went online in 2021, and it was quite fun. It was quite exciting, really, because we could reach new audiences. But very quickly, I think our role is for in-person events. Online stuff can be very convenient, but I think the value of presence, events, especially for networking, is extremely important. Industry predictions, sustainability is a big one. We all have to play our role here. Everyone really has to take part in this transition. We're working very hard towards that. And short films have a huge role in emergence, and of new talents, new voices, new visions for the future. If there was one thing that I would say, maybe more of a wish than a prediction, would be more cooperation and less competition. I think festivals have to work more closely together, maybe rethink the premiere situation of films, and have films travel, and new voices discovered. It would really help to do that if we would cooperate a little bit more solidarity.
Great, thank you so much, Tim. So I'm really happy to hear that there is urgency or keenness for submissions from filmmakers across the African continent, and I hope that some of them watching this will take that call up quite seriously. So is it that they would submit through Film Freeway, or is it directly to the
No, we have our own platform called Short Film Depot, shortfilmdepot.com, and that's where Clermont and 100 other festivals, only short film festivals, are on that platform, and we run the platform, and it's very important for us that we have serious festivals on that platform. And if you submit to Clermont, you go straight to the market. It's free, and then you can also have access to these 100 other festivals that will take care of your short film.
Sounds delightful. Thank you so much for your time, Tim.
Thank you.
I very much look forward to attending the festival myself. I haven't been.
Yes.
And seeing that increase in African submissions.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.